Let's understand the concept of God in Islam. The best reply that any Muslim can give you regarding the concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the glorious Qur'an is quote to you Surah Ikhlas, chapter number 112, verse number 1 to 4, which says, Kul huwallahu ahad. Say He is Allah one and only. Allahu samad. Allah, the absolute and eternal. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor is begotten. Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There is nothing like Him. This is a 4-line definition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given in the glorious Qur'an. If any person says that so-and-so candidate is God, if that candidate fits in this 4-line definition, we Muslims have got no objection in accepting that person as God. The first is, Qul wallahu ahad. Say He is Allah one and only. Second, Allahu samad. Allah, the absolute and eternal. Third, Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor is begotten. And the fourth, Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There is nothing like Him. This Surah class is the touchstone of theology. Theo means God, logy means study, theology means study of God. Surah Ikhlas is the touchstone of theology. You know what's the touchstone? If you want to sell or buy any jewelry, gold jewelry, what do? You go to a goldsmith and check how pure is the gold. He takes the gold jewelry and rubs it against a touchstone. And depending upon the color, he says whether it's 24 karat gold, whether it's 22 karat gold, whether it's 18 karat gold, or he may say it is not gold at all, because all that glitters is not gold. Surah Ikhlas is the touchstone of theology. Whichever God you worship, put him to the test of Surah Ikhlas. If that God passes the test, it's a true God, otherwise it's not a true God. Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad, there's nothing like Him. We Muslims, we prefer calling God by the Arabic word Allah. Why? No, Allah says in the Qur'an, in Surah Isra, chapter number 17, verse number 110, Kulidullah Abidur Rahman, Ayyama tadu falahul asmaul husna. Say, call upon Him by Allah or by Rahman. By whichever name you call upon Him, to Him belongs the most beautiful name. And there are no less than 99 different attributes given to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the glorious Qur'an. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Hakim, most merciful, most gracious, most wise. And the crowning one is Allah. Why do we Muslims prefer calling Allah by the Arabic word Allah instead of the English word God? Because the Arabic word Allah is pure. All the other words, you can play mischief with it. For example, the English word God, you can play mischief with it. If you add S to God, it becomes gods. There's nothing like plural Allah. Kul huwallahu ahad. Say He's Allah one and only. If you add D-E-S-S to God, it becomes a female God. There's nothing like male Allah or female Allah in Islam. If you add a father to God, it becomes Godfather. He's my Godfather, He's my guardian. There is no Allah Father or Allah Abba in Islam. If you add mother to God, it becomes Godmother. There's nothing like Allah Ammi or Allah Mother in Islam. Allah is a pure word. That's the reason we Muslims, we prefer calling Allah by the Arabic word Allah instead of the English word God. But when you're speaking to non-Muslims who may not understand the concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if you use the English translation God, which is not correct, I've got no objection. But I'd like to remind you that God is not the appropriate translation of the Arabic word Allah. Islam is deen. Islam is a way of life. It caters both to the physical needs of the body and the spiritual needs of the soul. Islam comes from the root word salam, which means peace. It's also derived from the Arabic word silm, which means to submit your will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam in short means peace acquired by submitting your will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.